Today you told us that, you know, how you approach today would really depend on how you woke up feeling. So I guess just the question is, how'd you feel waking up this morning?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, you move around your day and you get around the players and try to get a feel for, you know, usually it would be just the energy level of the group, but you wake up and you really don't need a coffee this morning, so you're pretty sure your energy's right on. And that'll be the better part of the day, just through the morning skate, kind of get a feel for where they're at.
Right side, first row.
Paul, in a similar vein, you've been through a couple thousand morning skates. I was curious what you were thinking about as the guys were on the ice.
And nobody step on a puck. That would be like the first one. Nothing more. I don't do anything in the morning skate. We got 3 drills. Everybody knows what they were. I'm only out there because probably should be. I don't do anything. So, you know what? Connect with guys. I don't really have anybody that I was trying to fix or modify necessarily the game, but there's certain players. You don't spend as much time around the players as people think, right? Like, I'm not hanging out in the locker room with them. Like, you do my meetings, and then during the year you got to grab a guy every once in a while, and then far more important interactions are just the skate buys. In a morning skate, you grab a guy, tap him on his pads, talk about a play. So I might have 80 clips. I'm not showing 80 clips, right? This will be a short meeting here, but there's probably a clip in there that was really good that you didn't. He's not going to get acknowledged for it because it's not going up on. So you'll get around a couple of guys and say, hey, that back check in the second was unbelievable. You know, it's just stuff like that. Just not even pumping tires. It's to acknowledge the fact that they've done something great and it's not going to get shown. So I'm just connecting with people. That's all. And try to tell the odd joke, but nobody thinks I'm funny anymore. So.
Right side, second row.
Paul, I believe your team's record in the last 2 playoffs, in 8 games in which you could eliminate a team, you've won 6 of those 8 games. What have you seen from your team in this time, in your time here, that they're so good at, you know, closing things down in that moment?
So you asked that question. There's 2 things that come to mind: how we looked in the 2 games that we didn't win. There was a bit of a theme in those games, and that's that idea of you want something so badly that you try to do something to make it happen before it should happen, right? Just don't try to break the game open. And the other is, and I would say this would be true even of Game 3, we've played the best hockey of the year in third periods under pressure. That's when we've been at our best, and we'll try to tap into that tonight.
Left side, second row.
Yep. Paul, you talked about the energy, or you wanted to gauge the energy around the team. How was it? And do you want them to ignore as much as possible what's going on, or embrace that? Or does it matter what you think?
I want both. So there's kind of, for me, and I'm not coaching the Oilers, but there's kind of 2 energy sources in the building tonight. One's desperation, and the other is desire, I guess, for a lack of a word. But both really powerful sources of energy, and we're both going to try to harness those things. So I want to be mindful of harnessing it. But we'll be very open about what's different about today. And then our challenge would be not have that translate into the hockey, right? The game, harness the energy. Yeah, this game is different than any other game they've played this year. So we'll deal with that.
Left side, second row.
Paul, you got a couple of guys in Barkov and Ekblad who've been through everything with this franchise. Everybody's going after this thing. Everybody wants it. Does it resonate, do you think, with you, with other guys, of what these guys have been through and what it means for them, too?
Yeah, I guess what's interesting about our room would be, is Lundy our youngest forward? Okay. But there would be no difference in that room in terms of value of it between the 2 of them. And what I mean is that we really want to for Barkey, but not so much for Lundy because he hasn't been here that long. That makes complete. I know that's not what you were saying, but there really isn't a lot of time spent on that idea or ever talked about it. You'd say they want it for themselves, they want it for each other. It's the collective. They want it for the group, right? That would be, I don't think I answered your question very well at all. I don't think I got it. Like, usually, no, it was good. The question was good. Usually I get these 4 or 5 shards of colored glass and I pick one and I got nothing off that. Nothing. Yeah, everybody wants it real bad. I don't know. Just take that. That might be the end of it. Sorry.
Right side, fourth row.
Paul, this question is from Cam, and he'd appreciate it if you tried a little harder on this one.
Okay. That's fair. That's a coach's critique. Very good.
Just in terms of a coach recognizing when his team is focused, when you look at your group, what are the signs you see that kind of lets you know, yeah, the group's ready today?
Oh. So the qualifier to that is I've seen morning skates that were so bad. Or let me give you another one because you might remember this. The World Cup. The day we opened the tournament, we're playing U.S. in the first game, and I watched their practice, and I've never seen anything like it. They were up and down the ice so fast. It was amazing. And then we went on the ice after, and it was the worst practice I've ever seen. Ralph Kruger comes flying across at the ice at me. And like we're halfway through the practice, and he's shook. And I am too. I'm just not saying it. And he's going, what the hell's going on out here? I don't know. I can't tell you. And we win 2-0. So there's not, the reading of the tea leaves is not particularly valuable, right? And it's not so much necessarily where they are, because they might be a little quiet and you might misread that as they're tight and they're not, or they might be loose but they're trying to be loose because they're really not, right? There's a bunch of stuff I'm not going to weigh in on. But I would say for me, it kind of always is how much communication is happening on the ice in the off moments in the practice. Are they talking to each other? That would be the driver for me. Whether their hands are any good in the practice, that doesn't matter, right? I never once in my career have I ever looked at the starting goaltender in a morning skate, right? It just skews you the wrong way. So I look for communication between the players. I'll go sit in the meal room, won't say a word, just kind of listen to what's the energy level. That'll be it.
Left side, front row.
Paul, 12 months ago this week, you're in Vegas for Game 5. The other team clinches. Really tough moment for you guys. Had someone pulled you aside that night and said, don't worry, 12 months from now, you'll be up 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Final, your reaction would have been what?
Thank God. You know, I don't know, because nobody could have said that to me 10 days ago, that you'd be up 3-0 in the final. The games, I'd be really, really happy not to have heard that. It would have made my life far worse to know that. And you would think that's crazy, right? Because then it would have taken every bit of joy, of adversity, of life out of my life, right? The journey is where the friendships and all the funny stories that just aren't funny to anybody else, but we think are hilarious, they happened in that year of not knowing, right? The arduous pursuit of excellence without the guarantee of reward. I would absolutely not have wanted to know that.
We'll take 2 more questions, front left.
Paul, I'm curious, do you remember when you fell in love with the Stanley Cup, the idea of the cup and winning it?
You know, like probably around the age of 5, right? We grew up exactly like every one of you did, or maybe everybody has a different story. Saturday night, we got 3 channels in Sault Ste. Marie. There's a French channel. There was WKBD out of Detroit, and then we got CBC. So Saturday night for us, if we didn't play hockey, my parents would take us skiing, my mom would make a pot of spaghetti or chili, and we'd watch hockey. And you knew that you were like getting older because you could make it to the 3rd period. That's the way, I mean, my mom would make popcorn with, you know, the half pound of butter, you know, and your half glass of Coke you got was just smeared with butter, and there's salt everywhere, and you'd get up in the morning and eat the rest of it. Your dad didn't eat. That's what I remember about growing up, and it was hockey Saturday night, and you still a little bit of maybe young to appreciate those early years. But when I hit my mid-teens, it was the Edmonton Oilers. They're in their prime. Wayne Gretzky and Paul Coffey had played for the Sioux Greyhounds, which is my hometown, and they used to play street hockey sometimes at the tennis courts across the street from my house. My mom and dad still live there today. So that was where it became the dream, right? You watched Lanny McDonald win. Everybody was cheering for that. I didn't necessarily have a team. You're cheering for the team that's win, but Lanny McDonald, that was a big deal in our house, and I'd never met Lanny McDonald. It was just a big deal. All of the Edmonton Stanley Cups. It was probably didn't see the Islanders enough to fully appreciate that run. I would have been too young, or it wouldn't have made WKBD.
Last question, back left.
Paul, throughout your time in Florida, in these
Love the
settings,
hat, by the way. Seriously, appreciate the hat.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well done.
Throughout your time here in Florida, in these settings, behind a microphone, behind a podium, you've been a calm influence for the Panthers fans. But now you got a 3-0 lead here in the Stanley Cup Final. How are you keeping yourself calm?
Probably not quite as calm as it looks. The feet are flying underneath this table. No, there's been a lot of days in here. So so we have to keep this in context, right? What is it, 11 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, my brain's going to shift pretty hard here in about 4 hours, and it won't be conversations and casualness by any means. But I've been selling Enjoy Your Day for 2 years here and probably before that, and I believe it. And I've had enough of the other days that aren't good that I'm damn well going to enjoy the morning skate on a day like today. I refuse not to be in a good mood and enjoy it. Now, the puck's going to drop and everything changes, right? Your brain gets wired back into what you do. There's no casualness that's going to happen tonight. But I should hopefully be fairly relaxed this morning. If you can enjoy this morning, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's the point of this then, right? We want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it too. I'm not playing tonight, right? Like, I really don't do that much back there. So the players will be wound up.